And to prove to you guys that if somebody does something wrong, I talk about it regardless of who you are. Um, I want to I want to talk about something that happened recently. One of our Super Eagles players, he made a post on social media this past week, and unfortunately for him, that post was met with a lot of, what I call it, negative feedback. The post did not go in the way that he expected it. And this is a player that I like. Again, this is a player that, in fact, I have his phone number. We chat every once in a while, talk about all sorts of things. I'm talking about Bruno Onymaechi. So if you didn't see it, Bruno Onymaechi, Super Eagles left back, he scored his first goal for Boa Vista this past week, and he made a statement. He made a post on Twitter. I'm going to put it on your screen. He said, "Scored my first goal of the season today. Make una help me tag Todd Bowley abeg. I want see something." This post, he probably made the post jokingly, saying, "Oh, let me too have banger tweets, let people laugh, let people see." And the level of kickback that he got, I'm sure he
Like
was not
Boniface.
exactly. I'm sure he was not expecting it. And I'll use this to say this is one of those um, teachable moments for Nigerian players, one of those learning moments for Nigerian players. Get somebody to manage your social media, get somebody to be your brand manager, get somebody to advise you on your public image, for better or for worse. You don't know the benefit of some of these things until you run into situations like this. Again, I'm not saying you cannot try to be funny, but you can easily just send it to somebody that, "Hey, bro, I was thinking of posting this. What do you think?" The person tell you, "Oh no, this is how people might take it. Don't do it. Oh no, people might read it the wrong way. Don't do it." Or you might even already make the post, and within 1 minute, the person will just send you and say, "Ah, bro, take this thing down, oh, I beg," before people start seeing it too much that it's not funny. But when you don't have anybody that you can talk to like that, you don't have anybody that works for you on that level, you make a post like this, it stays up for a day, and then people start insulting you, cursing you, blah blah blah, and then you now start to realize, "Oh, more, I don't mess up here." Again, everybody should find what makes them unique. I talk so much about branding. I'm going to bring back a series on our social media page talking more about this branding thing for athletes. Find what makes you unique. I promise you, I don't care how many funny tweets Bruno Onyemaechi puts out on social media. He will never be seen as the funny guy. I love Bruno. Bruno is my guy. But the funny guy is Victor Boniface. Don't try to do what Victor Boniface is doing. It won't work for you. Find what makes you unique. Even recently, I saw Victor Olatunji trying to do the same thing, trying to make jokes. It will not work for you. People might laugh once or laugh twice, but they will get over it. The funny guy is Victor Boniface. Victor Osimhen was the guy that used to post memes on every of his posts. All of a sudden, every Nigerian player started following that blueprint. When they post on Instagram, you see on the fifth slide, they will post one meme or they will post one funny video. Stop being copycats, my brothers and sisters. Find what makes you unique. Build your own brand. For example, Rashida Ajibade. Ajibade is the girl with the blue hair. She is Mommy Gio. Is she the only player that loves God? No. Is she the only player that dyes their hair? No. But if another player comes and says, "Oh, let me start doing my Bible reading series," people will look at you like, "Bro, this is Rashida's thing." If another player comes and starts saying, "Oh, I'm the girl with the braids," people will look at you like, "Brother, sister, who are you? This is Rashida's thing." Find what makes you unique. If you cannot find it yourself, again, that's why you hire people like EaglesTracker. You hire people like AyoT that help you build your brand, help you to paint your public image, help you to find what works, help you to reach the right people. Again, players don't understand the importance of these things until it is too late. When I saw the tweet, I know the boy just wanted to be funny. He said, "Oh, let me throw Chelsea a little bit. Let me get some kikis and some laughs." And he got some laughs. But the thing was, he upset two sets of people. He upset Chelsea fans, and then he upset Boavista fans. So he upset Chelsea fans because Chelsea fans now start to look say, "Who are you to be trolling us? Like, bro, you say where you don't reach. You are not Mbappe, you are not this thing. Where have you reached?" For better or for worse, that's how fans feel very protective of their clubs. I know Nigerian fans that even if it's Osimhen tomorrow, if he's playing against Arsenal, they will insult Osimhen, they will say all sorts of things because Arsenal to them is the number one, or Man U, or Chelsea, or Real Madrid, or whatever the case may be. And he upset a lot of Chelsea fans. They're like, "Bro, who are you? Why are you trying to troll us?" Blah, 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 things like that. And then he upsets Boavista fans because, bro, we're the ones that pay your salary. Why are you trying to twerk for somebody else while we are paying your salary? It'd be like, say, you get babe. May your babe go dey post, say, help me tag Chris Brown, or help me tag, let me use a Nigerian celebrity. Help me tag Timini, make Timini see my fine picture. Or help me tag. It's like, I'm the one that is taking care of you. You are saying they should tag another man to come and look at your picture. Things like that. And I think he just did not read the room. And he also did not have anybody that could just call him up after 1 minute, or even after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and say, bro, no, no, no. Take this thing down. Take it down. Take it down. It's not good enough. And then eventually, he took it down. And then he made a statement. Again, Bruno, not my guy. But this statement, when I saw it, I was just dying of laughter. I said, again, this is further reason why you need PR, why you need a brand manager, why you need somebody helping you with your social media and with your communication. Bruno said, "Hello, everyone. I have been having some difficulties logging into this account for the past 74 hours. I believe someone hacked my account and made the last post, and apologies to anyone that the last post may have caused in any way. Big respect to my club, Boavista." Bruno, we know that nobody hacked your account. Stop it, stop it. Like, stop it, bro. Stop it. Nobody hacked your account. First of all, nobody is hacking into your account and is making one single post. If the person hack your account and wants to tweet nonsense, they will tweet plenty nonsense. They're not going to hack your account and make one single post. So stop
Mhm,
it.
mhm,
Again, even the statement, not well structured, not well thought out. 74 hours is a very, I saw that, I was like, that's a very specific. I don't know if he wanted to say 24 hours, because 74 hours is a very specific timeline, you know. But the thing just made me laugh. I'm like, bro, you could have just even, you have my number. You could have even just texted me like, IoT Alpha, or how can I just fix the thing quickly? I would have given you better advice than that. You
mhm,
know, again, it was just bad damage control. Obviously, at the end of the day, people are forgiving him for the most part, everything. But it's things like this that should not happen. I remember when the Gift Urban one happened with, he doesn't want to go to Arsenal because Arsenal don't win, blah, blah. I know how his agents started scrambling left, right, center to try to fix the narrative. But it doesn't appear like Bruno even has somebody that's working hard like that for him.
mm,
So I'm sure he has learned his lesson. He will not try to do banger tweet again. He will just focus on playing his football. But again, Bruno, hit me up, bro. Let's talk. Let's work. Let's work. Because you can still be a social media presence. You can still engage with your followers. You can still be interesting. You can even still be funny. But don't try to copy somebody else's templates. And just make sure you have somebody looking out for you. Because any of the players that I work with, any of the players that I work for, if they put out something like that, it won't take me 5 minutes to tell them, bro, no, 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 take this thing down. It's not good. If I even have access to their accounts, now me go even log into their account, go delete them by myself because it's not good. You need somebody to be watching out for you. And whatever money you don't want to pay, trust me, it's worth it. Because all the stress, all the negativity, all the negative attention that comes towards you from making a mistake like this is not good. That's what I have to say. Smith, do you want to say anything about it?
For me, I just think that the the tweet wasn't the one that really caught my attention. It was the damage
The
control.
explanation.
He just rushed and do the explanation. But in my own opinion, I think Bruno, fantastic guy, but he just need to let his lesson. You can't be a different player. You have to be Bruno. You have to be Bruno Onymaechi. People know you to be the gentle guy in that team. So and you have to respect your club. That's actually very important. You have to give your club respect. And if you want to disrespect a club, not Chelsea. Chelsea fans does not have anything to lose. They will just come after you. They are keyboard warriors. They are keyboard warriors. They will come after you. They don't win anything, so they will come after you. And when they will eat you up. If you slack Man City down, like this now, they are on top of the league. There. But Chelsea fan, even the small pick in the street will come after you because Chelsea fans don't joke with their club. I know that. So in fact, the worst person to argue with is a Chelsea fan. So that's why I don't even go close. So for me, I just think Bruno, fantastic guy. He's going to let his lesson. But for me, that tweet where he used the spirit, where he goes use that way again, that one no go, no enter.
Yeah, because if you even look at the replies to the tweets, people are like, come on, bro, like, come on now, be serious here. We know that that wasn't a mistake.
Mhm.
We know that nobody hacked your account. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know he has learned his lesson. Better safe than sorry. The
Mhm.
why I'm saying this, that hire somebody, because the natural reaction for a lot of these players when they make a mistake like this, their reaction is now they will go back into their shell. They will just say, let me not say anything again, or make I not go make mistake. But that's not the solution. The solution is not for you to now not have a social media presence. The solution is for you to just use it better, use it smarter, use it wiser, not to just go into your shell and not post anything again. So I hope that in fact I hope that he reaches out. In fact, maybe I even text him and talk to him about it. But when I saw it, I was just laughing. I was laughing. And even people did not buy it, because when it made that explanation, people were like, "Come on, bro! Like, come on." But you live and you learn, man. Nigerian players hire social media managers, man. Even the great Burna Boy. Sometimes when they tweet nonsense, a manager go just they delete them as in they tweet them. They just they delete them, just they delete them because they know, okay, this boy don't smoke it, but just come they talk nonsense now. It's like we don't need all this negative attention. Just they delete them. And that's a musician, where, to be fair, that there are not really that many consequences for what he says. Now imagine you a footballer, professional footballer, where your own consequences are much, your industry is much different. You're not allowed to just do anyhow. You have to be more careful. Hire social media managers, hire people to watch after you. If the only player, rather, if the only person that you have on your team is your agent, then you're not doing it right at all. I always tell players this: if the only person you have on your team is your agent, then you are not doing it right. And if the people you have, the remaining people that are not your agents, are your boys that just, for your area, we just they squeeze money into their hand, you are not doing it well at all. You have to get learned people, knowledgeable people that know what they are doing, to be on your team, to look after you, to work for you. And that's how um the best players do it. That's how the best players do it. I know Neymar is a super, super big player, but Neymar has his marketing agency that has over 50 people, that 50 that are working just to build the Neymar brand and protect that brand. I know that's Neymar. I'm not saying hire 50 people, but hire one. Even if you are paying that person $500 a month, for how much you make is nothing. You can afford it. Just hire somebody.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. The legendary Smith Layi and AyoT.
Yeah, we hear you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We hear you.
Yes, sir. Once again, I enjoy you guys' program. Nigeria, Nigeria football. Super Eagles is my favorite team. So, I really enjoy you guys' channel. Like I said, it's
Thank
like
you.
gold, like I mentioned the other day. So, well done, you guys. I wanted to touch on that, the issue with regards to, branding, your public image, PR, and Nigerian players, right? My dad used to tell me something when I was younger. When we used to watch football, because my dad is a big football fan. If I mention his name, I reckon that you guys will know him. But he said, even if you are playing football, you must go to school.
Hmm.
He said, no matter what you do in life, whether you want to be a footballer, you want to be into anything, a musician, anything, you must go to school. And unfortunately, I know it might sound, a little bit condescending, but that's not my intention. I think the lack of that, or the inadequacy of that, I think that's what is glaring, in the actions of many of these players, to be fair. There is something there's just this inherent professional aura you should have as a footballer. The kind of outbursts that we see, for example, from Osimhen, and I'm going to mention his name, right? Because it's not only Bruno, him coming on Instagram Live and then having that kind of rants, right? I'm not taking sides here, whether him or Finidi who was wrong, I don't care, right? But for you doing that alone, right, as a professional footballer, that shows the level you are. Can you imagine that Mohamed Salah, right? Because he was also once a CAF player. Can you imagine him in any world, any dimension doing that? Can you imagine someone like who again was African Player of the Year? Sani.
Sadio
Mane. Sadio Mane. Could you have imagined him in any universe doing that? So what he did was just showing that although physically he's at this level, CAF Player of the Year, top scorer, won Scudetto, although physically that's where he is, right? Mentally, he's still down there, unfortunately.
It's portable.
Right? A lot of these our Nigerian players, exactly. A lot of these our Nigerian players, they seriously need what they call media training. They need media training, honestly. How to speak to the media. Just look at all these EPL matches, and then maybe they're interviewing Trent Alexander-Arnold, interviewing Sterling. Forget even Sterling and Trent Alexander-Arnold, a foreign player that has gone through media training. See the way they speak. See the way they address the game. See the way they carry themselves. They understand that, listen, I'm a footballer, right? There's a certain way I need to carry myself. There's a certain aura I need to have. I need to, even though personally, behind the scenes, I might be a certain way, but in public, I can't, show my flaws like that. I should be like a professional, come do my work, and I'm all giggly and smiley. If you remember this guy, this Onymaechi, Chelsea winger, when he had that issue that he posted on his Instagram, and he said,
Wolves is crap.
Because what happened is that he made the post, right, and then he quickly deleted his a bit later and said, "Oh my gosh, that was supposed to be on my burner account. That you lot are quick." Yeah, that shows he understands that things like this has to be said in his burner account. Does Boniface have burner account? Does Bruno? Okay, yeah, he might have, but the point I'm making is that he's saying things on his main account that you would expect a burner account to say, right? Osimhen, all these players, so they really need to imbibe this, and I think that it's also something that I don't know, maybe it's the NFF, I don't know what body is it that's going to have to work on this. And a lot of you made a good point about musicians. They can get away with a lot of these things better. A lot of these are Nigerian players, right? The way they reason, their headspace, they are also in the same category as musicians. Them having this popularity, this fame, even if you look at their lifestyle, they have mentally placed themselves in that position. So they feel like sometimes they forget themselves, and they post these kinds of things, and that's the way I feel about the whole situation. You mentioned that Bruno Onymaechi, he was thinking, okay, maybe he can also position himself as like the Boniface. To be honest, and I really believe that you are giving him too much credit. I don't think he was that strategic in his thinking when he made that post. I don't think he thought that far. I think he just made, an instinctive post. Make that emitated. What do you say? Something about Todd Bowley. Emitated Todd Bowley. Let's see what he will see. What kind of unprofessional tweet is that? What kind of statement is that? When I saw it, I was just disgusted, honestly. And then, of course, when I now saw the damage control, like, bro. I mean, that was even a lot more horrible, So these are my thoughts on these issues, and Thank you guys
All right.
again. You guys
Thank you.
are doing a good
Before
job.
before you go, I wanted to just say something.
Yeah,
See about what you were saying about the branding, education, mentality, all those things. What I would say is that based on the way Nigerian football is, we know this that for better or for worse, 90% of the people that become professional footballers out of Nigeria come from relatively poor homes. It's just a reality. So
yeah,
most of
yeah,
them did not have the opportunity or ability to go to school. But I'm not making excuses for them because education, knowledge is not only gained in the classroom through formal means. You can, now that you are making thousands or hundreds of thousands, nothing stops you from taking online courses. Nothing stops you from hiring a tutor for certain things. Players like Ajibade has gotten two diplomas while she's playing football. Players like Ekong have diplomas. Balogun has diplomas. You can play
Awoni.
football, Awoni. You can play football and still educate
and improve yourself.
yourself on different things. If you want to go into business, you have to have knowledge about business. You cannot just say, "Oh, I have money, so I'm going to do business." You will lose your money, or they will scam you. Things like that, or you will make bad investments. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to gain that knowledge somehow. Like for example, I always talk. Now I do branding for several players. I've worked with different players. I've worked with different clubs, different things like that. And I did not go to school to study sports marketing. I did not go to school to study it. I studied computer science. That's what I have my degree in. But I went and I had to take courses to learn these things, to understand these things better, to get better. Even this media that I do now, I had zero background in media. I had never hosted a show before. I had never done anything. If you go back and watch my interviews in 2019 when I first started EaglesTracker versus watch my interviews today, you would see the growth. Because when I first started, I did not know what I was doing. I was just a guy
Mm,
that opened Instagram one day and I started asking players, "Oh, do you want to talk to me?" And some people said, "Yes, I'll talk to you." And I was like, "Wow." I remember then people will message me like, bro, how did you manage to get Osime? How did you manage to get Nyama?" And I say, "Omo, I just send them DM or they say okay." And people were surprised that it was that simple. But when I watch it back sometimes, I'm like, oh, like what kind of stupid question is this? Or what's this thing?
mhm,
But that's why you have to constantly work on yourself and improve to get better. So I don't give players a pass. I understand maybe you did not grow up with privilege. So you did not go to school, or maybe after secondary school you had to stop. But you can still educate yourself better. Media training now, for example, nobody, maybe if you are lucky enough, you might be in a club that the club will say, "Okay, let's do media training exercise," and they'll bring somebody. But more often than not, you are the one that has to get yourself media trained. Either your
yeah,
agent or your
yeah.
manager, somebody would bring. I'll give you an example of a player that I work with, Christy Uchebe. When I first started working with Christy, if you put camera in front of Crystal and give her a microphone, she will just keep quiet for the whole day because she did not know how to speak. Not like
Mm.
she could not talk, but she did not know how to properly communicate what's in her head, things like that.
Articulate
I know
yourself.
how
Yeah.
many, I know how many mock interviews we did, how many different practices we did, how to answer certain questions, how to evade certain questions, just to be able to get better. And now, if you sit with her for a 2-hour interview, she will talk and she will not jam talk. She will not go and say what she's not supposed to say, and she will convey her message properly. And even till today, she's not the only one. Other players that I've worked with, they will still send message like, "IoT Alpha, I won't post this thing. Oh, help me read it through. If there's any grammatical error, help me fix it. Help me do this. Help me do that. Just make sure it looks good enough." And these are the things that players need to do. I know I'm selling my market a little bit because it's what I do. But at the same time, even if you don't want to work with me, I always say, even if you don't want to work with me, work with somebody because you cannot just live ignoring these things. And I always say, with Nigerian players especially, it's the reason why a lot of our players are not global superstars. But then when it comes to something like this, you don't realize what you've lost because you never had it.
Mm.
You don't realize what you've lost because you never had it. But then when you look at other African, let's say like a Mohamed Salah, yes, I know how great he was, but look at the level of brand that he has.
Mhm.
If you don't fix up a lot of things in your own life, like you mentioned with Usime, that kind of rant, things like that, your
Mm.
brand will never get to that level if you are doing things like that. It's not a curse, it's not bad belly, it's just reality. You think, let's just say, for example, Louis Vuitton. You think Louis Vuitton wants that one day the ambassador will just come live, come they bash somebody?
Allah,
No.
Allah,
It's just the reality.
Allah.
They want players that are out of controversy, just doing the right things, speaking properly, right public perception, right image. And this is what a lot of Nigerian players don't understand. It's not everything that is just about, oh, make I just buy a car, make I just this thing. You have to invest in yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to invest in your brand. Because at the end of the day, when you're 35, God help you. If you're 40, you retire. You have till, if God has ordained that you will die at 95, you have 55 more years that you have to live a life and you have to make money and you have to
Yeah,
keep improving yourself. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, I'll keep on saying it. I said I'm going to start a new series on EaglesTracker to educate more about this brand. When I first started, I used to talk about it so much, but I've kind of slowed down a little bit. I'll get into it again because Nigerian players cannot keep doing things like this. I want our players to be active on social media, but they need to know how to use social media properly. That's the important
yeah.
part.